Good evening, lovers of song and songwriters. Welcome back to Songs from the RWR Room here, my YouTube channel dedicated to singer-songwriters from Belgium and beyond. Hope you're all doing fine on this Tuesday evening, 22nd of September. And you're watching Raving with Rua here, my little live stream series here on the channel. As I said, dedicated to singer-songwriters from all over the place. It's a chance for me to talk to some of them, wherever they may be in the world. If you are watching live, please drop us a comment below. Let us know where you're watching from. And if any questions for Brian or myself, throw them up there. Please, it'd be great to hear from you wherever you're watching in the world. If you are the first time viewer here to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below there and click that notification bell. As I said, this is a small part of the overall channel. You can check out all the videos there on the website, thehero.com. Will take you to all the playlists, several videos, several different types of playlists. Of course, you can also donate to the virtual tip jar if you'd like as well. It's always linked down below there as well. Or visit the shop on thehero.com. Also, every little helps, as the fella says. I think we've got a couple of live viewers already. We do, big God. And I see Chris is there from Bonnie Deutschland. Hello, Chris. Welcome back. Great to see you again. Chris is watches a lot of the shows here with us today, here on the show. Great to have you here today, Chris. Lovely to see you. So yeah, that's the drill, folks. I'm, as always, going to talk to you. Going to talk to the guest. A guest today is over in Delft. We're going to cross the border over to the Netherlands, and all going to plan. Hopefully he's here. Please welcome to the show the great Brian Clifford. Are you there, Brian?
How are you, Dahi?
Good evening, say Conasatatu. Good evening.
Tommy, come on. I brought my special cup with me here. Look.
Cheers, sir. Look. I'm on the road. What's on yours?
Red and white, look. Red and white.
Red and white. Is that the old Cork? You're a Cork man.
I am.
Where are you
I'm
from,
proud.
Cork?
Cloyne
In Cork. Is that anywhere near Offaly?
yeah. Just about up the road, down the road.
Down the road from Offaly. Well, thanks for being on the show, Brian. We've been threatening to do something here in the RWR Room for a long time, and it's great that you're here. I know we will record something in the room when it's all set up here. Up here. It's a work in progress, and soon to be up and running. And it'd be great to have you on to do a live song. But in the meantime, I thought we'd have a little chat here on the Raving with Rua, while we're at it. So. What was it like growing up in Cork? You did you have a big musical background, upbringing, anything like that?
Oh yeah, I think everyone plays a bit of music in Ireland. When we're growing up, there's always music. There's music everywhere. Nothing specifically musical. Maybe my auntie is a choir singer on my mother's side, and that side of the family, they would have had a piano. So every time we went to visit, yeah, you'll be hammering away on the piano, on the keys, and just doing your old Jaws tune, dum 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 dum.
Yeah, was that like your first instrument? Did you play piano before guitar then?
No, I know. The guitar was really my first instrument. Yeah, and drums as well for a bit, and I did piano a little bit later in life. Well, I won't say later in life. I was 17, I suppose. I did a grade on the piano, so an exam, but I never really did any more with it.
So you can kind of read and write the old notes and that, can you? Have you or
to a certain degree?
A
modest degree.
Modest degree. Yeah, sure. Yeah, a lot of us, of course, coming from Ireland, we don't have any kind of formal training. We always ended up just kind of learning from scratch and from other people, I guess, and from
year to year, just picking things up as well and just figuring things out. Nowadays it's a lot easier with the internet. You can learn songs by just getting the chords or in an app.
Yeah, so much easier, isn't it?
Back in pre-internet, you had to put the tape on and rewind to learn the song.
I forgot to mention, of course, before I continue, I forgot to mention our dearly beloved G-Sharp guitarists who sponsored these streams, by the way, folks. I meant to mention them earlier on at the beginning, so I'll stick it up there now so I don't forget. But did you have, was there trad music or mainly singers in your house back in Cork, Brian? What sort of music were you exposed to, I mean?
A bit of classical music, I suppose. Yeah, my parents would be playing all sorts. My dad would always have classical music in the car. Lyric FM was the one.
Lyric FM.
Lyric FM, yeah. It's the classic. Still is, I presume, the classical radio station.
I think so.
So he'd be going places. He'd have that on in the car, and
yeah.
And my uncle as well used to live nearby. He'd also be playing classical music just non-stop. And I guess, yeah, you just, like a sponge, you soak it up, you know.
Yeah, and tell us about guitar playing then in the early days. You were a teenager, I guess, when you started. And
I was about 11, 12-ish.
Yeah.
My brother got a guitar handed down from that aunt, I said, from the musical family. It was a small little nylon string guitar. Lovely. And he never did anything with it. And I was like, I want to play it, you know, because my sister was also, I have two sisters. My older sister was playing guitar a little bit in her teenage years, as you do. And, you know, it's the cool thing, you know, I'm 11 years old. I want to know, how do you play an E minor or an A minor, and trying to play around with it. So I took the guitar and I made it my own, and it started from there. Yeah.
Great.
Lessons and stuff as well.
Okay, so you got some lessons, yeah. And when did... So you were doing... I mean, I know you've made a living for a long time playing bars, and I suppose you did that in Ireland as well, did you, before moving to Holland?
Not to the level that I did in Holland. Not to the level. It was more folk clubs and support slots, doing my own songs. So I wasn't doing a lot of gigs, but I was more doing the real stuff, you know, like the art centres and a few little, the Lobby Bar, for example, in Cork. Support gig, the Sirius Art Centre in Cove. I don't know if any of these exist anymore.
Oh, I think they do. But I think so. And was that like you were already writing songs at that stage, or beginning to write songs?
Beginning to write songs, yeah. I think I wrote my first real song. I was about 17, I'd say. So I was when I was 17, and when I was 18, then I got onto Colossus Stefan Nefa course in Cork, and I studied there for 2 years. So it's a music industry, music management and sound course.
Oh yes, I heard.
There was one of two back in the day that they had one in Ballyfermot in Dublin, and people like I thought Mundy or someone like that went there, and the one in Cork was the first, and then Ballyfermot came later, something like that. But I studied there for 2 years, sitting in a room with 30 other egotistical musicians. There was a lot of art flying around the place, and it was really good experience, like just to kind of put yourself in the deep end and really focus on your chops, I suppose. What do you want?
I heard a lot of good things about it, especially the Ballyfermot one. I didn't know about the Cork one, but you as you said, you mentioned some names, you know, that would have attended the colleges, but I heard a lot of good things coming from places like Ballyfermot. You know, they had top tutors as well, and
they did.
Top men and women in the game. Yeah,
people that had been workhorses in the industry for like maybe 20-30 years that have learned, like we're doing now, learning from the ground up sort of attitude. They did it, and then they were teaching kids, basically 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds, and up. You know, someone in their mid-20s as well could be on the course, even a 35-year-old. It was all ages really, but
all ages,
but a lot of early 20s, and writing songs was the priority. I think that was the priority in the course. Most of them were songwriters, so they would play piano, guitar, or cello, all sorts of instruments, but songwriting, because the instructor, he was a songwriter himself. He used to play with John Spillane back in the day of the Stargazers, I think they were called. It was a show band years back. John Spillane from Cork as well, a songwriter.
John, amazing songwriter, yeah.
So
Cork seems to have a lot of them. I don't know what it is about Cork.
They make good tea.
Someone said today to me that that Dublin is in lockdown now, so Cork is the capital.
Oh, there you go.
There you are.
I was been waiting for it.
Enjoyed it, lass. We have Daniel O'Connor. Daniel. In there. It's good to see you, Danny. Thank you for dropping in to see us. We had a bit of a chat there last night. Daniel might be doing one of these at a later time. Daniel is also a great web designer. He designed your website, I believe.
He did indeed.
And by the way, Brian Clifford .nl is down. That's where you'll find all of Brian's stuff, and you'll be able to check out the lovely website there of Daniel as well. We have Stephen from up down. He's Stephen, Mr. Good Mojo, the Smith,
Hey.
and he lives down the road. And you play a GS Mini, and Stephen just
GS
bought
Mini.
one. A GS
Oh,
Mini
lovely,
Taylor,
lovely.
and he just bought one today. So the best of luck with it,
Good,
Mr.
good
Mojo.
stuff.
Lovely guitars. Lovely guitars. I'm just going through some of the comments here before we continue. But Chris, again from Germany, has a question. Question for you both. Is there any special reason why so many singer-songwriters from Ireland, Britain, and even the US move over to live in the Netherlands and Belgium, both stunning countries full of nice people? Is there something special about the music scene, or what made you go and stay there? So, and Rotterdam Roulette is a great song.
Thank you. Cheers, Chris.
It is a great song. We'll be playing that later on the show, Chris. So I leave that with you. You moved. When did you move over to Netherlands?
2005. 2005. Yeah. Midsummer. I guess the answer to the question very simply: the grass is always greener on the other side.
It is. Well, I think
opportunities. I didn't specifically come for music. I just got a job for 1 year working in a pub, and from there was I planted roots, so to speak. An Irish pub in Rotterdam, Paddy Murphy's, where I worked as a bartender, and I met lots of musicians that were gigging 7 nights a week. They were playing everywhere from Germany to Belgium to Denmark.
And you weren't playing the scene at that stage, were you?
I wasn't playing at that time because it was a lot of cover gigs and 3 hour gigs. 3 sets of 45. I didn't know that many songs. I had to do my homework.
Yeah, the long gigs, bar gigs are long. Yeah.
And I didn't even write that many songs at that time. I might have had a couple, a handful. So I could do a 10-minute gig.
Yeah.
You won't get paid, Brian.
Well, I suppose from my point of view as well, answering Chris, I suppose coming from the island of Ireland, you are on an island. You feel you're on an island. It's a car-dependent country. You have to fly everywhere to tour. And for me, as a touring musician, it was just so much easier. Same with yourself, like to hop on a train and be in a new country, for example, in 3 hours, be able to reach countries like Norway or Denmark even by road. So for me, that was also a huge plus to being sort of on mainland Europe. From the point of view of getting around, I found it so much easier. I don't know if you agree with that.
I don't think that was the incentive to leave, but when I got here and I started doing gigs, that was reason why I wouldn't have gone back to Ireland, because it made sense. I look at the Netherlands as being the nucleus, of it all. Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. When you're down in Belgium in an hour and a half, you're in Antwerp from where I live. 2 hours down into Brussels.
It's great.
Schiphol Airport is not that far away, with less than an hour from my house here, and I could be in Copenhagen in another hour by plane. It's
definitely a plus to answer your question, Chris. And of course, great people. I know so many Dutch and Flemish and indeed Germans. We played gigs in all those territories, and I think the level of appreciation is superb as well. Yeah. Even if you end up in a bar which isn't really designed for or set up for sort of quiet listening singer-songwriter gigs, I find even in a bar, for some reason the level of respect and attention is very high.
When they clap and they sing along usually, and in Ireland, my experience of a pub is everyone's having a drink, chatting with their friends, which is also nice.
Yeah,
but you're in the background. You're in the background there singing, like the radio's on a little bit.
Yeah, in a way. Yeah.
Unless you're quite famous and they've paid €10 to come in to see you play, then they pay attention. But it's just that's the nature of Ireland and being in a pub.
It is. It happens in pubs here too, of course. But especially the Irish pubs. But I think there's a great level of respect and admiration for singer-songwriters and bar musicians as well. Who would not necessarily singing original songs in bars, but. I suppose, did you start doing that as you played pub gigs? Did you start introducing your own songs into these slightly sort of noisier environments?
Very, very slowly and seldomly, because in the beginning I started gigs where there was no one really there, so I would maybe play one or two songs, and maybe then it was 5 songs, and I would try them out, and then because it was so quiet, I lost a bit of the motivation and to keep going. You need a bit of feedback, a bit of a clap. Oh, that was great, or someone said, "Oh, I love your voice," or whatever, and that's the incentive to keep going. So yeah, I kind of stuck with playing covers for years, and in the background, every now and again, I would write a song. It was only until recently where I really went full steam at it, which was last year.
Yeah.
2019 was the turning point after about over a decade of playing cover gigs all over Europe.
Sure, but nothing
it's
wrong
good.
with that
It's
either.
great.
And it's bread and butter stuff, as you said, and a great way to cut your teeth, as the fella says, and
performance
get into
performance experience is superb. You know, I mean, you wouldn't get that playing covers in Ireland, really, or even originals. You wouldn't get the level of experience that I've had on stage, singing in pubs and playing in different countries. It's different everywhere. And you just get a feel for it, and it becomes second nature just to get up and sing. It's like breathing, you know.
It absolutely is. So tell us about this first song we're going to play.
First song is
Burning Down.
Burning Down Trees.
You never burned down a tree, would you?
I didn't. I don't have any sense of arsenic tendency, so not that kind of guy. But the idea behind the song was really, it was inspired by the deforestation last year. There's the flames there. It's the Amazon there. I was going for.
Yeah.
The Amazon in Brazil, and sort of what was going on. It was in the news, like.
That's
so.
Right, Australia was on fire. Lots of places. Yeah.
Exactly. But those were different kind of fires. What my goal here was, it was sort of, they're making space. There's a little bit of corruption involved. They're chopping down the trees. There's money taking hands, and I'm not a protesting kind of guy, but I just thought it was an interesting topic to write a song about, and I was looking for ideas at this time last year, just to write lots of songs and see what would spark my attention. And I just went with it. I just had the idea, a story. I started playing around on the guitar, and I thought, trying to get a feel for what the song would be about. And I started with that line, burning down trees. Yeah. Just burning down trees. It started with that.
There you go, absolutely.
I built it from that, verse by verse, should we say.
Yeah. Will we give it a spin?
Yeah, do
please.
Let's
give it a spin. Folks, we'll be back with Brian Clifford in about 3.47 minutes. How's that? Burning Down Trees, great track. Is this the new single?
This the new single, yeah, just released last week.
Marvellous, let's give it a lash.
Burning down trees, they're burning down trees. We're down on our knees, stop burning down trees. Towering flames, both red and yellow, one tribe escapes the fury. A fat cigar puffs slowly, sweet boots dressed in charcoal dust. One onlooker grins and gazes at things both trial and jury. Nothing looks deep, our pockets full. Burning down trees, they're burning down trees. We're down on our knees, stop burning down trees. How can one man stand unmoved, or Amazon falls a blade? Shoes that trampled on tropic terrain, and trails of corrupt cancer to pursue. Suspicion falls on you, 10 degrees far below the equator. Burning down trees, they're burning down trees. We're down on our knees, stop burning down trees. on her, betrayed, burst my raid, to find a new home amongst mangroves, or Amazon still burns, burning down trees, they're burning down trees, we're down on our knees, stop burning down trees. Burning down trees, the burning down trees, the burning down trees, the burning, people will turning round, it's the burning, people will turning round.
Brian Clifford, nice one, sir. Very nice one.
Thank you.
Burning down trees. I've always been drawn to sort of the protest song, or songs that have a message in them. Songs that are not just about not just a love song, or not just an abstract thing. And I think it's great. And musicians, I think, should do more of it, especially these days. We need lads to stand up and talk about topics, I think.
That's it. It's a kind of song where a lot of people like it for that reason. I've got a lot of respect for the topic, and then there's obviously the haters that don't like when you talk about something that's a little bit difficult, or about something they want something middle of the road, a bit of a love song or whatever, because you can't please everyone. But definitely there was something to learn from writing about a story about something. It's sort of fictional story, yet about a topic.
Absolutely. And what I asked this question pretty much on every stream here, but I like to hear about different musicians, songwriters' process in writing. Are you a note taker? Do you like to sit down and do stuff at the spur of the moment? Is it lyric first? Is it music first, or does it vary? How do you go about it?
All sorts, I'd say. Lyrically, lyrically, I'm trying to focus these days, since I wrote those songs, to get the story nailed down and build from there. The structure, the verses, and just to build a sort of bones. If I have a concept in mind, I would normally build a story, and from the story, I would try to come up with something that sounds nice. Obviously, it wouldn't be the finished product poetry-wise, but it'd be something that would give me something to get a musical feel off of.
Yeah.
Sometimes if I start with the music and I spend too long on the music, I find it hard to come up with words that fit the music, because I just obsessed over the music. So if you have like a poem or something, and the word setting is in the right place, and the rhyming is there, I find that really easy to put that to music. So for the last few songs that I've written, if I can get the structure lyrically done, understanding in my head that it's not the finished draft, so to speak, then I can usually finish the song pretty quickly.
I see. Okay, so it really is a kind of a varied process for you. Yeah.
Sometimes I hear a tune in my head and I record it in a voice memo, and I go back to it, and and then I develop a little bit more on the voice memo, and then it turns into a song if I sit down with it for a few hours. It can work like that too.
And you predominantly write on guitar?
On guitar, but lately I've been playing around on the piano, because at the start of COVID there, we got an electric piano in the house from Tolman. And yeah, I hadn't played piano in years, so it was nice just to play around with melodies on the piano, because on the guitar you're limited to the chords.
To say, it must open up a lot of stuff for you there. On the
if something I wanted to try, it was a technique I had in my head. Can I write better melodies if I play around with on the piano? Because I was always playing around with scales on the guitar to find all of these songs. I wrote the melodies on the guitar, so I was trying to find something. But when you look at the black and white keys of a piano, you can see exactly what you're doing, which direction it's going, and you can work it out as long as there's not too many black notes.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Okay, yeah. So you find that's working for you. That's great, because I think
so I'm mixing between them. Trying to find what really works.
And we were talking about the fact that you also a great proponent from time to time of Kaiser capos, open
Kaiser capos,
half shortcut capos, and that you've used.
The dead Kaiser capo, and the standard one The Dead Guy one is the one I used it on some of the songs.
Great.
It's just for the tone. I put it in D, open D, which should be on second fret. Technically E, but it would sound like a Dead Guy.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I learned if I put it on the fourth fret, then I get the C shape has this lovely E tone, and it's just two different tunings. Like that just sound really nice if you play around with them.
Absolutely, they do, and even though they're both in the key of E, technically, as you said, but it puts a lovely coloration on your chords.
Exactly,
and you don't have to relearn chords, which I've always loved about the shortcut capitals. Yeah,
for the songwriting, sometimes you just need that incentive, just something to spark your imagination a little bit. It just could be a different key change, move the capo up one, or try a different capo, and you just
and you're in a completely different zone, right?
Exactly.
And did you ever co-write with anybody, or do you find it just you need to be kind of on your own to do this, or how do you feel about co-writing?
Yeah, I tried it once, and I realized it wasn't really for me. I think it's a thing you kind of have to find the right people to write a song with.
I certainly do.
Generally, I would come up with all the ideas and demo them at home and send them on to my producer there, Kieran O'Shea in Berlin. Give him a bit of a plug there in case he's watching. He's the man behind all the mixes and production.
Good job as well. I was just going to ask where you recorded, and I was going to ask you that was coming up next table. Circle
back to it if you want. But
let's talk about it now, because it's you mentioned it's great. Yeah. So he's your man in Berlin.
Kieran, he's living in Berlin. He was part of a famous Cork band, Cyclefly, back in the 90s. The best rock band to come out of Cork. Actually, they were quite big in LA over in the States, and he built a studio in Cloyne. Actually, he's from the same neighborhood as myself, and I recorded my first demo with him when I was 18. So it was kind of funny to just follow up.
Ended up being neighbors in Europe. So so it's weird. He's living in Berlin now.
He's living in Berlin, and he's settled down there, and he has a little project studio out in a really cool neighborhood, which is basically an artist complex of different project studios. Attractive, I think it's called Attractive.
Attractive, great name.
Yeah, in Berlin, it's one of those old communist sort of buildings, and it's just got recording studios and rehearsal studios. Cool place to be in the East. It's really gets your mind in the zone.
It gets you into the zone. It sounds like a lovely place to work. Definitely. So and did he do all of the tracks on the recent EP? Yeah, he did.
Well,
it's not an EP; they're all singles, right? Am I right in saying that?
They're all singles, but technically we recorded them and we mixed them as an EP in mind, because I wasn't sure at the time if I'm going to do an EP, and because of the COVID happened, I thought I won't be doing gigs, so I'm not going to release anything, but I still may release it as a physical EP in the future, coming weeks, months. I haven't decided. But they're mixed and mastered that way,
Great. So. And if people want your music, of course, everything is linked from brianclifford.nl. And if you're watching on Facebook there, folks, please give his page a like. That'll be Brian C Music. Absolutely. Give a thumbs up. And by all means, share this out. This will be gone from Facebook later on, but it'll be here on YouTube forever, for posterity, and you can share it out later on tonight or tomorrow, folks. If you want to rewatch this, it'd be great. But give Brian C Music a like there, and of course, if you want to like the RWR Room page there while you're at it, feel free. We all that kind of stuff helps us. I'm going to play another song and then come back and we'll have more tea.
Good stuff.
Cheers. Cheers. Ride the Rainbow is a song that this is a live version. You're standing on a roof and you're singing out loud. Lovely.
A very Dutch background there.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us a bit about the video and about the song.
The song is just an acoustic live version. I wanted to try something new. It was the first music video I really did. You can call it a music video, but it's a live music video.
Yeah.
It's filmed by Jimmy Ellis in Jimmy Ellis, the violinist there, and he lives in this building, and this is his rooftop. So it was kind of fun to go up on the rooftop and film with the windmill in the background. It just made a very picturesque sort of
Sure
you know,
did.
just had
It's
to
a
be
lovely
image.
backdrop. Yeah, it's ideal, really. Anything you want to say about the song itself? Is there inspiration behind it, or was it just
You did well.
abstracty?
It's a little bit abstract, but there is also inspiration. I got the idea just from watching. I think it's a Netflix movie, Breaking Bad. I don't know if you've seen it at
Indeed,
all.
it's great. Yeah, absolutely.
It was Ride the Rainbow, so we know what that is. Most of us do.
Yeah.
So it was based around that movie and just a character, the main character. I
Yeah.
found him fascinating. The young guy, the blonde haired guy, that he was living his life in this way, and he was going on. He was bringing people with him. And I thought, yeah, it's kind of interesting. There was some sort of intrigue, and I remember in one episode, or was it the film or the series? I don't really remember, but I remember they just said, "Ride the rainbow. We go out tonight. We party."
Yeah, it's a great line.
And then I just built it from that. Just built the song from that. It's quite simple lyrically, quite simple. It's just a simple pop song written in the afternoon, and the production, I think, makes it more than the live version. But the live version is an alternative sort of vibe. It's nice as well.
People can find this on your Spotify, of course.
Exactly.
Can get the recorded version, of course. But it's nice to have a couple of live ones here to throw in as well, because
sure.
Yeah, you're rocking the GS Mini here, so we'll dedicate this to Mr. Mojo down the road tonight.
There you go.
With his brand new Taylor GS Mini. But let's give it a
Check
blast,
it out.
folks. It's Brian Clifford's and Ride the Rainbow, a little live take of his song.
He's looking out his window, watching people passing by below. Wonder where I would go today with this rain. No need to wear a poncho. Hates the feel of cheap raincoats. No real destination, just the next place. He wants to ride the rainbow, just to watch how things unfold. Come on, let's ride the rainbow, right up top and then down we'll go. So he rushed out through the back door, went on a wild retreat to get a sense of euphoria or pain relief. Fast train to the city to celebrate conformity, escape. Ironic fall in such a comatose state. He wanted to ride the rainbow, just to watch how things unfold. Come on, let's ride the rainbow, right up top and then down we'll go. Hope I don't fall, I'm having the time of my life. Hope I don't fall down tonight. Rainbow, just to watch how things unfold. Come on, let's ride the rainbow, right up top and then down we'll go. Let's ride the rainbow, just to watch how things unfold. Come on, let's ride the rainbow, right up top and then down we'll go. Down the rainbow.
Lovely stuff, Brian.
Hey.
Ride the Rainbow. We're on a unicorn as well at the same time going across.
Oh yeah.
That's how I do it anyway. It's the only way, isn't it?
Twinkles in there. It was very windy that day. I was terrified of falling off that building.
Yeah, it looked rather precarious
really,
up there.
really
Swaying.
stiff, like, because it was like it's quite a big drop.
It's very good.
Okay.
Yeah, and of course Stephen noticed that you're a Koa GS. He noticed he's a guitar builder as well, so he noticed your guitar wood. We always joke, of course, we have in the past about having gas GAS guitar acquirement syndrome or
Yeah,
gear
yeah.
acquirement syndrome. I think we're as bad as each other, you and I, for collecting stuff.
It's
the
a
nerdy side of us.
diagnosed clinical disease, I think.
It is, I
of some
think
sort.
so. But tell us a little bit briefly about what you're touring with, just for the guitar gigs and the pedal stuff and that kind of, you know, what you do live.
Well, specifically, the GS Mini was for the gigs that I was doing in Denmark. I got it a few years ago because of the carry-on luggage. It's so easy. It's so small. It's so snug, and it fits 100% in the overhead. So
Perfect.
that's the number one reason to buy it.
Yeah.
I got the Koa because it looked nice, and I played a couple of them in the shop, and I went, that's the one. You know, after 9 of them in there, that's about 5 of them. So I got that guitar for touring. That was it, and then I just kept playing it because it's just easier. It sounds nice.
Yeah, they're impressive guitars for the size. You know, I had one for a while too, and subsequently sold it. But for the size of them, and they have a slightly rounded back, and they're, you know, really lovely guitar for the size. Really impressed.
And for pedals, I suppose I have a TC Helicon. I think they call it Helicon Harmony Voice Live Harmony pedal. I'm trying to think of the name of it.
Yeah, sure.
But the guys from Denmark, TC Helicon, TC Electronic,
Yes.
and that does the guitar effects, which I don't really use. I use it mainly for the vocal harmonies and just a little bit of sound, a bit of EQ, and I just let it do its thing because it sounds nice the way it is. And the button broke.
Did it? You were leaping on it too much, were you?
It moved around in my bag sometime, I suppose, and it fell off. But it still works the way it is, and it sounds good. So I don't really think you need to be playing around with it. You know, it just gives you the vocal harmonies from certain layers of voices.
Lovely machine. I've seen them in action, heard them in action. Yeah, impressive little tool, and not so big either. Just you run your mic through it. Yeah.
There's one of the lads from Brussels, I think, one of the musicians was using one there years ago, and I was asking, what pedal were you using? And he was just chatting on Facebook, and he told me that, and I went, I'll get one. Because I had the cheaper version, they had a cheaper one, a smaller one, that broke on me as well. So I needed something new, and this was like an upgrade, you know, another €100. And I needed an upgrade after this one. That's the gas kicking in.
Yeah, I know. Are you using any kind of reverbs or effects on your acoustic on stage?
There's like a patch, so like a hall reverb, but mainly it's very small, and it was in a preset. So when I set it up, and then the button, I couldn't change it anymore. There's one little dial in the middle that does everything, and I would normally then, if I needed more reverb, I do it on the mixer, you know, on the auxiliary sends or something like that. Hopefully they'd have it. So a bit of reverb on the guitar, a bit of reverb on the vocals, maybe a bit of chorus at times. I used to do that as well with a Boss pedal.
And I assume, you were telling me, do you have a little home studio set up? Do you do any kind of pre-production or recording at home then?
For the tracks that I did in Berlin with Kieran, I did a lot of it was on the iPad and Cubasis, which was something I downloaded and paid for last year, and I got stuck in. It was quite basic, but it's really good for what it does for laying down the sketching out the songs. But it started with COVID. I went a step further when it all kicked in, and I did the trial for Logic Pro on my 2012 MacBook, which is still, touch wood, still here. Yep. And I tried it out for the 90 days free trial, and I thought, geez, this is brilliant. This is really brilliant. The quality of this thing, what you can do with it.
It is. And
I just got lost in it, and I have to buy it now. They got me, absolutely.
Yeah, they know what they're doing, the feckers. They know they're... Yeah, they do.
Day 91. I have to buy it now, you bastard.
I know. I see you drinking tea there. I don't know what you're drinking. I'm assuming it's tea.
There we go.
Are you Barry's or Lions, man?
Oh, Barry's all the way. Barry's all the way. I was on to my mammy last there a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if she's listening. She's supposed to send me tea. She hasn't yet. So.
Come on, mammy. Send me a box as well while you're at it. I'll give you my address later, Brian. You send me at least 80 tea bags.
80 tea bags. The stocks are running. Stocks are running low.
Oh, they are. Yeah. Always. Yeah. I'd love to get an old box or two. Yeah. So if you have any
some
surplus,
crisps as well, you know.
Yeah. Have any surplus, anything like that, potato crisps. I don't know if Chris Link, when he was in Ireland, if he got hooked on cheese and onion crisps and and Barry's tea bags. I'm not sure if you did, but
Lions now, he was a traitor, I'd say.
yeah, he wouldn't be. I wouldn't be talking to him if he was drinking limes. No, nor you. You wouldn't be allowed on the show either.
But, you don't know what tea. You don't know what tea is.
No. Come here. Did you play your songs in Ireland yet, or have you plans to, or had plans to go to Ireland before Corona, or anything? Would you like to?
I would love to. Yeah, I'd love to, but it's hard enough to build something from the start, and kind of coming from the pub scene, and then the pub scene stopped. And I recorded all these songs with the intention that you'd have a pub audience to try them out and tell them follow me on Spotify and all that sort of stuff. But luckily, I got a few more gigs lately this weekend, and it'll kick up again. But the idea was that you could promote yourself. So I'd kind of do it like one block at a time. If I could succeed at that, then I'd be looking to maybe do a few gigs in Cork or something, and make a weekend home, that kind of thing.
Of course, you could start in the home place and go from there.
Exactly. But the latest single, though, got some radio play on Red FM in Cork, which is really nice. Great. Shout out to Killian and Alan, who played it on the Sunday night, the Green Room on Red FM. So I was quite chuffed with that. It was quite nice. First bit of radio play in Ireland.
That's very cool. And you're working your Spotify list very well too. You're really into it.
Yeah.
See, even on your poster behind you. And you also put a Spotify playlist together called the Irish playlist. What was that one called?
The Irish Indie Rising. Yeah.
Irish Indie Rising. Okay, yeah. You sent me a link to that earlier, but that's great. People can maybe find that as well, can they?
They can, yeah. It's on my profile. On Spotify. After you click follow Brian Clifford, of course, you scroll down.
Follow first. And then
you scroll down and find the playlist there. There you go.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's for all the Irish independent artists. We had the COVID thing and there was nothing happening, so I thought, well, I'll do my bit and I'll make a playlist and reach out to people.
A bit like they did for the COVID 9000 playlist here in
exactly.
Ghent.
In Ghent, yeah.
That's the good thing about Spotify, I mean, it doesn't sort of financially benefit many people, but it's a great way of discovering new artists. It's a great way to, it does interconnect artists, and it's lovely how it does that.
You can build on it, and build on it, and maybe you never know what the number becomes, the follower count, and if someone else hears you, that's with the streaming nowadays, you could be heard across the world. You wouldn't have done it before,
That's very true. Yeah, you just don't know. Let's move on, play another song.
Yeah,
because we have two left to play. Not to rush or anything, but time flies here. It gets ahead of me because there's no real panic, but I want to get the songs in before the hour is up, if you know what I mean. The next one is called Broken. It's not really video to video, but it's just a little album art. The album art is lovely, by the way.
We can talk about that in a minute, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we can, of course. Yeah. But if you want to talk about the song, please do while I load it up here.
Yeah. The song, you spoke earlier about a collaboration. The song was myself and a friend of mine, John. We were both playing in Denmark. John is from England. We were playing in a town called Fredericia in two different pubs, and I was sent him a text. Let's go down to the beach. I don't know if you've ever been in Fredericia. There's a lovely beach there.
I haven't.
And we were just jamming for a couple of hours, and we came up with a couple of lines. He wrote a few lines, and I put a tune to it, and the basis of the start of a song was there. So it was sort of a co-write. It originated as a co-write, and then I finished the rest of it and recorded in Berlin. We did the chorus and did all the harmony parts and everything. So it was, I think he plans to write his own version of the same idea as well. So we can plug each other out. John D'Ambrosia.
So so a lovely co-write called Broken, folks, and also a single from you, Brian.
Thank you.
Great. Let's give it a listen.
If something feels broken but easy to fix, then I'll tell you something, darling. Oh, it's a chance you don't miss. So hold on close, catch all of the tears, 'cause the things that we love, darling, won't always be here. If you're feeling broken, with nowhere to run, just think of these moments, darling, beneath the cashmere sun. Your hand in mine, with no worries or fears. Don't leave in a hurry, darling, won't always be here. I tried to resurrect what I felt, for freedom from the emerald belt. An angel with a broken wing rests on a greener bed of comfort blessed. Words go unspoken and tension will soar, but I pen my memories, darling, of days precious before. Now no longer broken, no longer alone. No tears to hold back, darling, from the lives that I wrote. I tried to resurrect what I felt, for freedom from the emerald belt. An angel with a broken wing rests on a greener bed of comfort blessed. I tried to resurrect what I felt, for freedom from the emerald belt. An angel with a broken wing rests on a greener bed of comfort blessed.
Broken
Oh, yeah.
from Brian Clifford. Lovely, lovely stuff again. Very poppy rocky vibe to that. Very, I like it very much. And kudos
you.
to your producer over there as well. Berlin,
Kieran O'Shea.
Kieran O'Shea. Well done, Kieran. Yeah, grand. So yeah, you were mentioning earlier on that particular song was one that kind of got you writing again.
Yeah, it was the atmosphere with John and myself on the beach in Fredericia. It was so laid back and it was just kind of spontaneous. John we just got out the guitars and we were having a chat. There was a couple of Polish guys drinking. It was just kind of funny. It was a funny atmosphere on the beach, windy. It wasn't even summer really, but it was summer, but the summer in Denmark's pretty cold. Yeah. And he just mentioned this Swedish artist to me. If I had heard this guy, I don't want to be plugging other artists on the show and getting into trouble talking about names. But
no, not at all.
The songwriter, and he played a song for me, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And I just started playing the chords, and I just started messing around with it, and I sang something, and then he just started writing lines. Yeah. And then we just crafted it over the next couple of hours, and it turned into what was the start of a song. So it was like, I was like, that was easy. You know, it took 3 hours, but that was a lot of fun, you know?
Yeah.
And I hadn't been writing for years, on and off kind of thing. Just didn't feel the creative incentive to do something. So I was like, I was really buzzed that we did that, and I'd never co-written, and I'd find it hard to do it with anyone again, I think, because it's a difficult thing to do, just to be relaxed.
Yeah. I think so. You were saying earlier, and I know from experience too, you do need to find the right person. And that's why I asked about the co-writing, because it works for some people, it doesn't work for others. Yeah. And also I think, you know, if you find somebody who's willing to say, rather than agree with everything you write, somebody who'll say, no, I don't like it, you're almost better off finding that person who'll kind of, not be argumentative, but just be able to, both of you, be able to give and take and say it's not really working.
And if you have the creative ideas as well, that people can just bounce off of each other. The only way you can artificially create that in the studio is with a looper or a DAW.
Yeah.
It's not the same. But that's fun when you can do that. You can just come up with ideas and someone else to be listening to it, and they get ideas off of it, and you're like, oh, that's cool. Sort of a flow of music and words. And
it worked very well. I just saw a comment there from Bitoy. He's a Flemish man. Is Brian from the Netherlands? He says,
no way, Jose.
No way, Jose. No way.
From Cork, from Cork, living in the Netherlands since 2005.
There you go.
So
there you go.
they beat the Cork accent. Yeah, I could be from the Netherlands. Some people mistake. So you don't sound like you're Irish and all this. I was like, well, no, you don't hear me when I touch down in Cork Airport, and then I'm like jumping around.
I just saying the same thing today. In the accent, you find yourself around other Irish people, and the accent just kind of explodes out of nowhere, or comes back.
Point of Beamish, and I'd be yapping away,
Point of Beamish, that's it. I know.
Yeah, the Heineken's Dutch. The Heineken's Dutch, so we don't talk about that.
No, we don't talk about that. No. Is it hard to find Beamish or that stuff? Murphy's in Holland, I suppose it is.
You could find Guinness, but that would be it.
Problem, yeah.
It's been a
couple
while.
Of specialised Irish pubs might have a bottle or two in the cellar or something. I don't know.
Yeah, in Rotterdam, there you can get Murphy's, which is the opposite to what I just said. I contradict myself or somebody.
Yeah, sure.
There's the place that I used to work in, and I still do gigs there. They actually have Murphy's, and it's quite nice. Murphy Stout. It's not Guinness, because actually, when you try that, you probably want the Guinness.
Yeah.
But when you're in Ireland and you're in Cork, you should have the Murphy's, for obvious reasons. We're here to talk about music.
No, well, a bit of everything. A bit of analysis, as the Dutch would say. A bit of analysis. A bit of everything and anything. I have another song in a moment, but
I wanted to tell you one thing there, Donnie. It was about the artwork as well, because this song was a very kind of a special song, and I worked out the song when John was in Denmark, and I was at home. I felt like I had to finish the song. Because we tried to do a collaborative kind of thing, and it didn't work out. Well, I was like, so I'll finish it because I need to finish it, because I felt it was going somewhere.
Yes.
And it got to a point where this is a song. And then I thought it really needed some beautiful artwork. And the artwork was done by Emma Ottervanger, if I pronounce that properly. It's my wife's cousin. She's an artist and an architect from Rotterdam sort of area. She did this sketch with, I think it was pastels, based along the lyrics and just the idea of the teardrop in the eye, and it's just really nice,
It was absolutely lovely artwork. Yeah,
I was blown away, like by when she sent it to me. I was like, wow! Didn't tell me you were doing it. You just gave me that.
Really? It was a surprise, was it? No, she hit the nail on the head there. Yeah. So well done to her, Emma. Is that
Emma? Yeah, Emma Ottervanger. Yeah, she's
well done, Emma. Beautiful artwork indeed. Kudos for that. Yeah, absolutely. It was gorgeous. It fitted in very well with the song. It sure did. So yeah, just to remind people, Brian Clifford Pontanel.
Or scan the code, I think, as well.
Yeah, there's a code there. I should have had it ready to flash up, but I don't. But of course, everybody can go onto the website and find it. I don't know if they'll reach the code there through the screen. They're all probably watching it on their phones as well.
Oh yeah.
But you never know. I don't know if we would read it from that distance. Who knows? But there's the QR code, folks. If you want to try and scan it, if by some miracle you're not watching this on your mobile phone, there you go.
And the Spotify code is there as well. Look.
Oh yeah.
That's this one.
There it is. That's easy.
And then play.
Okay.
Very important one for musicians is this one.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
If you're following on Spotify, folks, hit that green heart. It's very important that you follow Brian Clifford on Spotify, because that's the only way we got our music out there these days, really and truly. Apart from the gigs, but as you know, they're few and far between at the moment. So we need your love online, isn't that it?
Absolutely.
I will come back and talk to you in a few more minutes, Brian, but I want to play this other clip. This is an official video from Rotterdam Roulette,
cool.
which Chris Link asked about earlier on. Tell us a little bit about the song and the video.
Rotterdam, yeah. When I left Cork in 2005, I moved to Rotterdam, and I worked there for just about a year. And Rotterdam is a city that's really obviously bombed in the war, and it rebuilt itself and has all this character. It's a very strong city. It's got everything in it.
Beautiful.
And I thought I wanted to write a song about that, just about it. And I was trying to connect some sort of story in it. And the first opening line is where it started from. What is it? About one bullet. I can't even think of my own lyrics.
Under pressure.
What's that one bullet? What's that one bullet for? What's that one bullet
What's
for?
that one
And
bullet
it was just a story from my wife. Her grandfather, who was the time the Nazis were coming, was he was given a gun with one bullet in it, and he was like, "What am I to do with one bullet?" So I thought that you find ways to write songs, and what sparks your imagination, and this was just something. Oh, that's cool, I was just, I'd write that down before I forget it.
Yeah, brilliant. That's how it goes. That's how it works. Yeah,
that was when I was writing all these songs. This was the process, because you asked me earlier, and it comes and goes. But when you get lost in the songwriting process, and you write lots of songs, you get better at the process.
Yeah,
and collecting all the little bits of papers and ideas, and you try to organize it. But when you stop, you kind of forget how did I do it again. Well, at least for me anyway, I forget how to start. But once I get going, I find that process of writing the songs, collecting the ideas, what sparks me as a person, just personally speaking. Is it a dark song? Is it a happy song, love song, or whatever? Is it something in the news, a title on a headline on the news? And anything can happen. But then I like to write down why I like that, because I might forget tomorrow.
Oh, do you actually take notes about what you're thinking?
Sometimes,
about? Sometimes, do you? Right?
Yeah,
and why should it go this direction, or
exactly
why you had this thought? Yeah, that's
because it might just completely go out of my mind. Oh, what was that about again? But there was something linking up in my mind, connecting the gun, the Rotterdam, the war.
Yes.
We can use this in a song and connect it to my story of moving over, and write somewhere along those lines about living in Rotterdam and trying to build a life, basically.
Yes, well, it's a marvelous song, and I'm going to play for the listeners now. This is Brian Clifford, folks. This is Rotterdam Roulette, and great video as well, and what a great song. We'll be back with Brian Clifford in a couple of minutes to say good luck to him. Here we go.
Rotterdam Roulette, it's a risky bet. See, what's that one bullet for? I took a chance or two, and I laid it all on you. An easy target. I swam across the mess and stopped to watch each ripple pass. I should have thought things through. My tall swan to seduce. My city of many faces that no one dares to see. Not one soul but me. They'll knock you down, but you stand stronger, doing business in your own way, in your own way. Taxi cars and Irish bars, I've sat in many chairs just to be beside you. Pocket jeans, strange souls, barflies, beggars, wannabes, just to learn of your truth. Sat in corners, dark and red, dreaded days that followed next. Been through it all for you. My tall swan to seduce. My city of many faces that no one dares to see. Not one soul but me. They'll knock you down, but you'll stand stronger, doing business in your own way, in your own way. Rotterdam has it all. Rotterdam, stand it tall. Rotterdam is avant-garde, loyal fans to fire now. Bankers, dancers, poets, scouts, the tallest of the Benelux. A cute house sits at 45, an urban roof lives solid life. I'm Paul stands proud and tall. A home to harbor rats and dogs.
Has it all, Rotterdam, stand it tall. Rotterdam, has it all, Rotterdam, stand it tall.
There you go, folks. Rotterdam. Roulette. Brilliant. Absolutely great song. And what a great city indeed. It sure is. I've been in it many times. I love that line, my tall swan to seduce. That snuck in there as well. And I caught that.
That's the bridge. The Erasmus Brook in Rotterdam is also nicknamed the Swan. So it's not really the symbol of Rotterdam, but everyone calls it the Swan. Because it looks like a swan, the big white,
beautiful,
strange.
Lovely. It is a lovely, lovely bridge. Well, did you have any crack? No.
Good crack, yeah, good crack.
It wasn't too bad at all. I want to thank you for being here very much, Brian, and I hope people will follow your Spotify link and your websites there and your Facebook page. And look, we'll see each other down the road. It was a quick hour. It flew. It always does in this thing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dahi.
All the viewers and the people who dropped in live there tonight as well.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, look, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Brian. We'll see each other down the road, and as soon as this rural room is back in action, hopefully you'll come down, pay us a visit.
Definitely.
And we'll get to work recording another one of your great songs. That would be the plan.
Before the year is out, hopefully.
Hopefully, before the year is out. Good luck to you, and thank
you
so
sir.
much.
Thanks a
Hang
million.
on there till afterwards, and we'll have a chat backstage.
Yeah.
But I will see you soon. Thanks for being here, Brian.
Thanks a million, Dahi. Thanks. Cheers.
There you go, folks. The great Brian Clifford from County Cork and living over there in the Netherlands. Thanks to everybody who tuned in live. Chris for those great questions as well, by the way, earlier on. People who watched live and dropped in some comments and questions. Please give the video a share after it's all done and dusted, and subscribe to the channel, folks, if you're watching here on YouTube for the first time. Hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. And keep sharing the music. Follow Brian on Spotify. Check out his website there. Everything is linked. Thanks as always to G-Sharp Guitars. And thank you as always for tuning in to Raving with Rua and for sharing all the old videos of those great songwriters that we promote here on the channel. See you soon on the next Raving with Rua. Mind yourselves.